Again, we return to the idea of the ziggurat, and this is the Ziggurat of Ur. And what it shows us is this resurgence of power with the Neo-Sumerians. Again, it's built of mud brick. What you see today in the lower image is a reconstruction of what was found originally, which you see above. And this is a little bit different than our white ziggurat. First of all, we have a straight axis. So in other words, we have stairs that are moving directly into that cella at the top, although the corners are still oriented to the 4 cardinal directions. The walls slope as they rise. This is really common because if you slope those walls in, they become more stable. It's more likely that that entire structure will survive. And in this case at Ur, it's much grander than the white ziggurat that we looked at earlier. This is about 50 feet high versus about 40 feet. It's going to be much more impressionable. And this would have been in the middle of a city, not in the middle of a desert. The 3 stairways that converge into one and then the gateway at the top probably gives us the impression of different levels that people might be able to go to. For example, men, rulers, and priests being allowed to go to different levels. I'm just using that as an example. We don't know what those levels necessarily were in this case. It's also possible that only the priests used the central staircase and everyone else, rulers, etc., anyone else allowed onto the structure, would have used those side staircases as a form of deference to the god, because from that central staircase, you could have looked directly into the cella. So we have this incredible structure, again, building an artificial mountain effectively, bringing the temple, the cella at the top, closer to the gods. And when we compare it, we see a structure that's much more complex than the white ziggurat. The temple at the top is probably of roughly equal size, the cella at the top. Everything else has been enlarged to encourage the grandeur. Now they have more resources because we have a larger kingdom. We're not dealing with city-states like we were with the Sumerians. Now we're dealing with kingdoms and empires. We also have development in religion where perhaps they've decided that these temples need to be larger, that there's something else going on there that makes it necessary to create this bigger temple. Either way, what we get is an incredible depiction of their idea of a temple fairly late or somewhat late in Neo-Sumerian culture, in the culture really overall of Mesopotamia.